Hey everybody, in this episode of the Designated Survivor After Show, we're breaking down Season 1, Episode 18, Lazarus. Get ready for an underwhelming revelation, as well as a super random foreign placement. We're going to talk all about it next. Hey everybody, on this episode of the Designated Survivor After Show, we're breaking down Season 1, Episode 18, Lazarus. Get ready for an underwhelming revelation as well as a really random and super sweet forward product placement shot. Let's do it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
One of these days I'm gonna learn a new dance move.
No,
tonight is
maybe.
Tonight is not that
Yes!
night. Little shoulder shimmy. Little shoulder shimmy.
Welcome everybody to the Designated Survivor After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. Of course, we're breaking down every episode of Designated Survivor airing Wednesday nights on ABC. We got the full panel back. Look at this.
Woo! Welcome back.
Right, we're
Welcome back, my friend.
Oh, well, hooray for me. Hooray for me, I'm back, everybody. It was it's a much better show with 3, especially with Michael Clouse in the lead. So,
No.
Yep. I saw the
It was a
tweets.
much better show because of the Oreos, but that had nothing to do with me or you.
Those Oreos were good. You missed those.
Oh, thanks for saving me one. I mean, I seem to remember I saved one for Renee, but
And that was like weeks later. I could taste it. Still. But it was appreciated.
It was a thought that counted. Thank you. Anyway, folks, I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJack.
What's up, guys? I'm Christine Alexis. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Christine Bean.
Hey everyone, how we doing tonight? Wherever you are, all around the world, thank you for joining us. You can follow me away from the show on Instagram, on Twitter, at TheOnlyMC. Love to chat with you.
Hey guys, I'm Renee Ariel, and you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Renee Ariel, and check out my new article on my blog, 15 Reasons It's Great to Be Single, at sextingandthecity.com.
Oh, wow. There you go, folks. And as always, you can like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and of course, hop in the chat. Michael Clouse has got that sweet iPad up and running, which means the chat is up and running. Look at that. The chat is up and running.
It's lit.
There you
It's
go.
lit.
It's lit.
It's lit.
Yes. So feel free to share your thoughts about the series in general or this episode in particular. But real quick, folks, we got a hot Oreo flavor for this evening that we'll be sampling.
Yeah, I got the most risque Oreo flavor, I think, out there right now. It's
There
called
are
the
risque
Spring.
Oreo flavors.
It's called the Spring Oreo, and one may think like, oh, Renee, is that just the original Oreo with yellow filling? Yes, but you know what? It's fun because it's spring, and I wanted to spring into spring with you guys. So everyone take one.
Spring into spring. It is that time of year,
There
I
you go.
suppose,
But
right?
it also has on the cookie has what is it a butterfly or
broken.
bumblebee or something?
Yeah, a lot
Yes,
of
this
these
is
are
a
broken.
bumblebee.
I know. I'll take
So
this
that's going to be a texture difference. So it really will be a whole new experience
Great.
for all of you. You're welcome.
Oh, I've got a dude with a mustache. On mine. All right.
Cheers.
Oh, look at
Mine
that.
says
Oh,
shine
that's
on.
interesting.
Shine. Yours says shine on.
Yeah.
Love me not.
Oh, which one is it?
Love me, love me not.
Oh.
Go leave a comment on
yeah.
Michael
I got
Clouse's
it.
little
Face.
Instagram
There
and
we
let him
go.
know which one it is.
Woo.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Boom. Loving the double stuff, as always, which all of these special flavors have been like double stuff. Fantastic.
Yeah.
They taste like the regular ones.
A lot of people comment that we should have milk, which I think they're hands on right. I don't know how we're eating Doritos all the time without milk. I don't notice a big difference.
They taste exactly like
They
the
taste
OG
like
ones.
exactly like.
Guys, it says right
Well-
on the package that it's the same flavor.
Yeah, it
That's
says
why
yellow,
I got them.
yellow cream, same taste. So with,
Oh, wait, it
with,
does.
with an exclamation point. All right.
But they're double stuffed, so they are extra delicious.
Yeah, I didn't know that they were double stuffed. I wouldn't have.
All right.
So where do these fall?
Yeah, pretty much
The
just,
same ones.
maybe just a hair over the peaks.
But better because they're double stuffed.
yeah, yeah, you know, it's like pretty. It's just a kind of standard flavor. Sort of.
I hate that Michael texted us earlier saying, "Oh, just get double stuffed." And I was like, "I'm not gonna get double stuffed." And literally, I got double stuffed Oreos by accident.
I mean, they're good.
Yeah, because you like double stuffed. They're okay. I mean, they're better than majority of the Oreos we've tried.
Not better than
Lemon.
birthday
Someone
cake.
just said
Birthday cake was good.
Kirkman eats Oreos all the time when he's not on camera. I believe that. I buy
That's
that.
true. Yep, he's got a big Oreo stash underneath his desk.
All right, speaking of Tom Kirkman, why don't we break down this episode? Of course, the big reveal at the end of the last episode was that Lozano was alive. Not really something out of left field, since we never saw an actual body during the first raid after the assassination attempt.
Was it not Mike? Which I think, I'm just going to say, I was like 70% on the Mike train. You ladies were like
I was
150% on the Mike train, that he is the bad guy. It's an easy reveal. This is what it's going to be. Not Mike.
But he
Renee's
was
not even
shady
close.
this episode. You have to admit. Okay.
They set
I think
that
Hannah
up
was shady
perfectly.
They did.
episode.
They set it up perfectly.
Because we knew we were going to get the traitor revealed, and then every scene with Mike, he's like, "Oh, you think that? Do you know what that would mean?"
They built him up. He was in a lot of scenes, getting a lot of classified information. Oh,
Yeah.
this is going to be reveal of Mike. Not Mike. I love it.
Not
No,
Mike,
no.
someone we've barely seen ever.
No, see, I don't feel like
Mr.
Mike
Whitaker.
was being set up at all in this episode. I feel like he was just doing
Really?
he was just making sure that they had all their I's dotted and their T's crossed. You can't just say this without actually having evidence. So he's making sure that everything that they had could be verified.
They set him up a lot more as not a security guard, but an investigator tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely like part of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Respect.
And so some people were not fans in the live chat when I was reading earlier. They were talking about the setup, but I thought it was great.
Really?
It's a curveball for this show, which there's been a lot of predictability. Even this episode, there's a lot of predictability of what they're kind of going to go with. But I thought that was a good swing that a lot of people missed on, which was great.
But I think a lot of people missed on it because he was barely in the show
Yeah.
at all.
I'm
Like,
more
how would
talking
you-
about it being not Mike, not the fact that it's Mr. Whitaker.
Okay, because I mean, honestly, I think if they revealed anyone, we could have been like, well, we suspected Aaron at one point, or oh well, Emily would have been a true shock, but it wouldn't have made a lot of sense. But I feel like if it was any character that we've seen a lot, it would have been less shocking, just because at one point we were kind of suspicious of like, are they good of anyone? Whereas this guy we've apparently seen in 3 episodes.
He's been in a couple episodes before. What we know
Honestly,
about
didn't
him.
remember until you brought that up.
What we know is he's Jay Whitaker. We saw him earlier in the episode where he was giving the security footage to Hannah. But yeah, he has been in a couple episodes before, but really a behind-the-scenes guy, which, are you guys surprised about that? Did you think it would be someone bigger?
Well, when you have the promos keep telling you, like, next week the traitor is revealed, like that, they really set it up like this is going to be a game changer when you find this out. And then
Yeah.
it's just this dude. You're like, all right.
When the episode was over, I was like, is there more? Is that it?
Yeah.
Because I really expected it to be someone that we all knew and loved. And I mean, if they make his backstory really interesting and we see just how far into the conspiracy he is, I'll still be interested. But I'm kind of indifferent at this point because I don't know that much about him.
No, I feel like, yeah, you set audiences' expectations up, and I felt like this really under-delivered on it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
I think so.
I agree.
See, I just look at this episode, and in general, which is something that we can talk about, in that I think this episode set it up really well for the next season. Of where we're questioning the entire time of like, where could they go? Are they going to catch someone? How's it going to be? I thought this episode, and we still have 4 left, that this episode did a fantastic job of setting it up for future seasons of where they could take this show.
Great. I don't want to see multiple, like, super long seasons of this conspiracy. Not like this. Not if we're going to get underwhelming reveals like this.
Yeah, they really built it up. Like, I thought we were going to see someone that truly shocked us as opposed to someone, because honestly, then it could have been anyone that's been in the show for 2 seconds. And that's not shocking because it's just a new character that is the traitor. It's not someone that's actually a traitor to us because we don't know them.
Yeah.
It was interesting that it's, so late in the game of they're not introducing a new character, but basically introducing a new character. And they did that a couple times tonight. You're looking at the guy Liam, who tried to take down Hook Stratton. Another new character. This situation, another new character. And I think there was a third one. Person leaking information to Hook Stratton. Someone we only met in this episode. Man behind the conspiracy. Person we just met in this episode. The White House mole. Someone that we barely knew. So it's interesting this late in the game, but again, you're looking at this as not a 1-season show, so you will always need to introduce new people.
True, but I think if you're gonna, like Renee was saying, if you're gonna set people up, it would have been nice to have had them seated a little bit more and having been more involved, so that when this reveal does come, it has a little bit more impact than to somebody.
But it's someone that they still need to be able to search out then, because it opens it up so that we don't know much about this person, so we need to find out. That will take episodes. I think it's going to be an interesting thing to find out about this guy. Whereas if it was Mike, it's like, oh, we already know about him. Okay, next.
I would have preferred him even being like in the background for the whole season, or not even the whole season, but at least like 10 episodes. Like kind of someone we see and we're like, oh my gosh, it's that guy. I had no idea he was always like in the background, or he said one line. Like someone that we think nothing of, but we know. I know when this was revealed, all of us were like, have we seen that guy before?
Yeah. At least if we were a little bit more familiar with him, I would have had like a more surprised reaction or just been more emotionally invested in it. Now you're going to have to tell me how far into this he was. And it's like you're going backwards now where I'm like, okay, cool. I guess that was who it was, but.
Because if it had been somebody we'd known more, then it's basically the audience knows something that the characters within the show don't. And then that's the suspense of figuring out, are they going to find out the truth about him this episode? So at least you have some kind of vested interest. Now you're like, all right, well, pretty much like anytime they found anybody else in the conspiracy, he's going to last maybe another episode and then he's going to get killed before he can give any information.
I thought it was interesting. Earlier in the live chat when we first logged on, people were like, oh, what are the odds the two main bad guys are now old, gray-haired white men in Washington? Like, great. Touche.
So we also, as we're picking up there, we saw Hannah and Jason watching Lozano get back. And then, of course, they get a nice little action sequence as they get spotted in the tree line. And they take off, and Jason gets shot.
Man down.
I think the whole premise of these people being everyday people is interesting. And even then, I mean, you're looking at these people and you're like, why is he surrounded by these just people with like, you think they're like people with pitchforks, like country folk with all their guns, and you're like, what in the world? It's interesting, but I think, again, that sets up for the future of it. It could be anyone. You never know who is with this conspiracy, and I think that's something that I hope we see more of next week. They kind of tease where we're going to see a speech or something, but
yeah. We also have the other thread here is we're talking about Hannah and Jason trying to uncover the conspiracy. We have our deep throat, this guy we barely know, kind of steering Abe Leonard through the course of the episode, kind of giving him pieces. And like how Christine was saying, like, boy, he's like giving him like stuff like 3 or 4 steps behind.
Yeah, I'm like, why is he still asking about Majid Nassar? I'm like, you gotta hurry up here. There's so much more happening.
I feel like he's trying to control the narrative and try to discredit Hannah and Jason and their traditional federal government to make them look like they have something to hide with this. So I feel like that's what he's doing with Abe.
I mean, it's gonna come out sooner or later.
There was an interesting on Instagram. They do, if you don't follow Designated Survivor on Instagram, go to it. They do in their story every Wednesday interviews with some characters talking about the plot, and they did Aiden Kanto this time. And he actually talked about Abe Leonard and said, is he searching for the truth, or is he trying to bring the government down, or like how much is it going to be work versus what we talked about last week, work versus the good for the country?
I don't know. It feels like Abe's being kind of managed and kind of steered in one direction.
Totally.
Without having the full context of everything.
And you called that last week, I believe. Oh, no, my gosh, you weren't here last week.
I called that exactly last week, guys. Remember that? Remember that moment?
Who called it? You called that.
And then we high-fived. We froze
for
a second.
Frank and I look a lot alike.
No, this is the better version. For sure.
Stop it.
That's the before. This is like the deep, dark after.
No, but we did kind of touch on like how he'd be used and if he'd like have some sort of moral compass and later turn onto to the good side, or if he'd be manipulated by the conspirators to put something out there that they want.
Do you think that he is allowing him? Do you see him at fault in any of this, or if all this kind of goes down where he is playing a role and kind of being played, do you see him at fault?
Abe?
I don't see him at fault.
He's doing his job.
Because he's following the information that he has in front of him.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
He thinks he's doing something good.
Yeah.
But again, he might think he's doing something good, but at a certain point, you realize this is not good for the country, and I could be involved in a conspiracy. Like, you have to have the wherewithal to know that. Right?
He should, but I think he's also been so slighted by the White House. He's probably just on his own rampage. Like, because Seth shut him down, everybody else shut him down and discredited him. Like,
but does that make him innocent?
It doesn't make him innocent, but I'm sure that'll be his motive. That'll be his excuse, or
yeah, no one else is giving him any information. Finally, someone is. He doesn't know who it is.
Yeah.
But finally, so he's going to listen. And so far, I mean, this guy has proved to be right. So why not continue to listen to him? And thus far, he hasn't made him do anything that bad or really bad at all.
No, and this is a nice kind of twist towards the standard formula, because usually it'd be like a corrupt government, and then the reporter's getting information from somebody that knows the truth about the conspiracy. This time you're having somebody from the conspiracy feeding misinformation to a reporter, and he's just following because he thinks that's, oh wait, I'm doing the right thing, following misinformation. Poor Abe.
Poor Abe.
Poor Abe.
Doesn't even
Poor
know.
Abe.
Doesn't even know.
Do you think he'll make this season? Like,
Oh,
he'll
he's
make it
gonna
out
die.
alive? Yeah.
I stick by my prediction. I know you guys were right about the manipulation, but that conversation he had with Seth was still for a reason. He's gonna die, and Seth is gonna be like, wait a second. This guy was acting weird and paranoid. Like Renee.
Because like at the end of the episode when he's meeting Deep Throat and he says, all right, I'm going to leave now, don't follow me. And then he walks around the corner and then Abe follows him.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, okay.
That
all
was
right.
definitely a reveal for the show more than what would actually happen
Yeah.
in real life. But then again, how many times have we said that for the show?
It doesn't follow the normal rules of reality in this show. Every
Nope.
cliche you think it happen
ha-
will happen.
Hashtag Hannah being alone all the time.
Right? I don't need backup. I know.
For now. It was for now, Renee.
Hashtag let me stay in a shady hotel.
Yeah, what is up with that? I mean, before when she was still supposed to be like hidden and working in secret, they had her working in like some secret bunker and like really closed away, but like she stays in a motel and goes home by herself every day.
Shady.
That was you
What
who
the
said.
hell is that?
That was you who said during the show. You were like, so wait, now she's in the open, or she's so much for laying low? Was that you who
think
So
said
that was Frank.
Yeah,
Was
thank
that you?
Renee and I look a lot alike too.
Renee and Frank look a lot alike.
There you go. Again, another example of the before the
We
sleeping
know
dark
each other
after.
so well on this show. Great. Was it you?
That's right.
But you were right.
Yeah, what happened to Hannah like being undercover? Nobody's gonna know that she exists. Nobody's gonna know that she's alive, and yet she's talking to her big bad guy. She goes right up to him in the course of the investigation. I'm like, what is this?
I mean, she follows up leads. She goes on road trips. She doesn't care. She's just
Yeah.
out there, like.
But then
whatever.
stays at that motel. Like after she confronts this guy who's clearly dangerous, who she knows is dangerous because he's reading straight from this book that she has. Like, you're gonna go back to your creepy little motel by yourself, and then
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, it's fine. It's safe." And then, girl, first you shouldn't be alone. Don't travel alone. Bring a buddy.
Well, she checked her door, yeah, to make sure it hadn't
How did
registered.
She have that little like pen on her,
black
just
light.
so convenient.
Yes.
I was like, okay.
Do you carry around a black light?
That's a need to know basis, and you don't even know.
All right, everybody. Anthony lowered the lights here in the, in the studio. Let's find out what Michael Clouse has been up to. So this is the only newspaper action being written about here. Political website has a letter that's been leaked about Hook Stratton's involvement, because finally the issue is Hook Stratton going to be VP? Is she not? She's helped pass this gun control bill, and now finally Tom says, you know what, I want you to be VP. My daughter would love to have the first female vice president in the office. Michael loved that. He teared up. I saw a
Sweet
tear
pea.
rolling
No,
down.
that was just one of many things, except that they're good and bad staying up on like current events of like, I mean, talking about gun control, big. What else did they have that I thought was like current events? I know I wrote some stuff down. Obviously, they have Hook Stratton as VP and like a first female VP. Body cameras. They mentioned that at the beginning, and I think it's good. I think it's good and bad. I think that was one of like the more predictable things that you're like, okay, yeah, TV show. Like I don't hate it. Obviously, I mean, we could have had it before. I mean, there's been times McCain, Palin, and obviously Hillary this time. So I don't hate it, but I think that was one of the times where I was like, meh. I mean, I guess you're pushing an agenda a little bit.
Would you wanted to see, because the gun control is built up as such a major point of an episode a few episodes back, but now all of a sudden it's basically now to the point where it's, guess what, we're signing it into law right now. We missed all the stuff about, hey, we're going to work on the language in the House. We missed all that. Would you have wanted to see any of the
No.
kind of back and forth about that? You're happy just to jump
And
to
I
this
think I
it's all
speak
done.
for the live chat, who hates the politics of it.
They're
They
not.
hate,
Oh,
they hate
really?
the entire politics of the show, which again is not bad. I think it's boring to a certain extent, but yeah, I'm glad that we skipped over the politics.
I think it would have been overkill if they kept going
Yes.
on about that. Like
Yeah.
the episode the episodes that they addressed it, I thought were very intriguing. I really liked watching them, but at this point, if they really kept it going, I would have been bored. So I'm happy that they just kind of signed the paper and it's all good.
So, of course, it gets leaked out about Hook Stratton's kind of Turkish delight. I like that little article title right there.
Yeah.
About she was basically there, and the question is, did she receive gifts in exchange for a weapons package?
Quote Ivan, no more political crap, 4 exclamation points. Knew it!
So now she's going to be called into the ethics commission, at the House Ethics Committee, and the idea is like, well, she's going to be kind of a dead duck. That's everybody's kind of viewing her at. And Emily says to Tom, we should cut her loose. And Tom says, you know, I don't want to stand by her. Would you guys stand by somebody in that situation, or would you like, we got to just cut her loose?
This is why I'm not in politics. I have no idea what I would do.
I mean, maybe. I mean, me personally, I might just let her go. But I know someone like Kirkman, who his moral compass is always due north. He's always gonna want to help her, and she stuck her neck out for him. So I think that's the Kirkman thing to do, which is to help her.
The Kirkman thing to do.
It is.
It is.
We have to stand by her. I don't care. Like, he's so just. I'm gonna save the day.
Is that your Tom Kirkman impression? Will you do it a little bit more?
Everybody close your eyes.
Wait, throw on Frank's glasses.
Come on.
Frank's glasses. And let's see the Tom Kirkman impression.
Do your best Tom Kirkman
Try not to go.
impression, Christine.
Wow. If
Yeah.
I could see.
There you go. See.
Jeez.
Look into the camera.
Okay, you got this.
Presidential.
We need to stand by Senator Hooks. That's awful. This is why I'm not an actress on the show. That was great. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
I loved it. I loved every second of it.
You should do it. You got the glasses.
Where are they? What's going on? Perfect. All right. Okay.
I think it fits with the overarching theme of the show, where they're really like, you know what? Forget how DC has operated with politics, and we're going to go to the people, which obviously is another huge thing right now, which is how Trump got elected, in that, it's an allegation, but everyone knows that it's crap. And so call the crap and push forward with it, which I appreciated Kirkman doing, because I think it follows in line with everything that we've seen about him and his character. And so I'm glad that they did that and didn't have him flip-flop. I wish I, would have, I guess maybe talk about it next episode, kind of seen the follow-through of all that, where if she actually went public with the guy, with Liam's information, if, they gave a press speech or something. But hopefully that's something that gets touched on. But I'm glad that they did it. It fits with this character.
So do you think we're still going to be seeing next episode her in front of the ethics committee?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And is she going to throw Liam under the bus, or is she going to just try to defend herself just on the integrity of what she did?
I don't know. It's tough to say. I think whatever she's very well spoken, and I feel like she knows what she's doing. So I feel like if throwing Liam under the bus is the only solution, she'll use it. But I think if she can somehow get around that and just make a powerful speech, she'll do that. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
That's probably her only play. That's like her leverage to use. But I mean, the people who could be involved in this conspiracy could be behind the House Ethics Committee trying to get her out of power to maybe put someone else in who serves their best interest. So I think that'll be revealed during that whole
I do want to point out in the live chat, people are a fan of you in the glasses.
Oh, really?
We have Glenn Williams and Michael Martinez, both big fans.
Well, hello. Thanks, guys. Thanks. How's my impression, though? That was a better question.
That was a great impression.
That was awful, but
I wish it was the
awfully
whole
good.
episode that you did it for, but 2 seconds was, I
I'd
guess,
rather turn into Jack Bauer than Tom Kirkman, to be real. But
Do we need to see that impression?
I want to see you do that impression.
No.
You are so animated, Michael. Come on. Do it.
All right, so what's the next topic?
The next topic.
So I feel like because we find out that the person that leaked this was Liam, who used to work for Hook Stratton 12 years ago, and she could have fired him, but she gave him the opportunity to resign because he was taking money from lobbyists. But she's kept all the evidence, has passed this on to Bowman. So I feel like this is a kind of way to, at least by making sure that Bowman is not going to continue to pursue this, because realizing that with Liam, that's not a very trustworthy source on this.
She laid down the trump card, which was like, yeah, you go, girl. You be a boss. Like, as the person's leaving, you're like, wow, she is like out of option. Then she's like, actually, boom, boom, boom.
She's pretty stealth with her timing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Always. That's all we've seen with her.
Well, we saw
Just get
earlier.
knocked down.
We saw earlier in the episode. Oh, nice. Where we've got Seth and Abe and Aaron talking about that, and or Seth and Emily and Aaron talking about it. About what's so great about Hookstradden as opposed to Tom is that he's not a politician, she is, and she will be a bulldog about stuff, and that could be a nice thing. But I also feel like this is also a slam on Aaron as well, because sometimes opposites attract. And not always. And I feel like poor Aaron always getting dissed by Emily.
I still don't understand why, because the only reason they broke up was because she thought he was evil and he wasn't. And she's still being like feisty. She's playing hard to
Good
get.
job.
I think she's really concerned with work right now. I think she's busy. I mean, obviously, she just took over the new role, and
busy,
so
okay?
she doesn't want to have a relationship.
She doesn't have time to Netflix and chill. Like, come
She
on,
don't have
guys.
time to Netflix
Like,
and chill.
Not ready
for
for a
love.
relationship.
I mean, if they can't find Hannah Wells a place to chill in the White House, obviously there's no beds available.
This isn't Grey's Anatomy.
Head over to Hannah for a second. When she was in the White House, and she was basically at the end of the day, and Forrestal comes and says, hey, call it a night. You're exhausted. Even though we know it's this guy, Paul Lowe, it's one thing knowing it, but another thing proving it. Go home. And I felt like it took forever for her to want to say, all right, I guess I want to go back to the hotel. But it was like, are they trying to set these two up? It also felt like that moment, like, what should I do?
we should have known that was going to happen just
Stay
from there.
with me if you want. Stay with me if you want.
Real quick, I want to point out, I just thought about this. You know who Liam looks like? He looks like the bad... Is anybody else reminded of the bad guy from the Green Mile? That, like, creepy guy in the jail? Similar haircut, similar build, like a shorter guy. I'm trying to look up his specific name, and it's killing me that I can't find it. But yeah,
Killing all of us.
the creepy guy from the Green Mile. I don't know why I just thought that. Maybe I was alone. Maybe we didn't need to know this information. Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
So, of course, once we find out that Lozano's alive, the first thing, Emily and Jason make it back, even though Jason's getting recouping from the gunshot wound. But Hannah's with Forrestal and Mike. Says, hey, it's Lozano. Are you sure? Well, yeah. So, but Hannah wants to go and see the actual body that they found, and pulls up some ID, and they figure out that somebody switched it in the system, that the fingerprints still go to Lozano, even though it's not really Lozano's body. So only somebody that has high up access in the White House could have actually made the switch. So there's a mole. We know there's a mole in there. Great. But we do find out, though, that Hannah's able to keep working it, and she finds out it's this gentleman that was basically working for was it Browning, whatever it is.
Browning Reed.
Browning Reed. And so the CEO of that company seems to be our new person of interest.
Shady.
Yes. And so, as we talked about, Hannah and Force will go and talk to them. And what I thought about, too, was that did anybody notice that ridiculous Ford product placement shot? Like, after they're
Oh
talking.
my God,
yeah.
the longest scene. It's like push to
Oh,
start.
man.
Of them
They
walking to it, and then
Yes.
they wouldn't stop with the shots of them walking to the car, getting in the car. Like, we get it.
Ford takes you places.
Great. There could have been a much better way to incorporate that. It was just like, why are we seeing them auto start this car? What was the point of this? Unless the car could actually
Add
be driven
money.
up to them and pick them up, then I'd be like, all right, then that's cool. But so this is our guy, and he is just he's made so much money after 9/11, after like $2 billion worth of contracts, but he's become disillusioned by the government. So he's got enough money and enough power that he's gone even far alt-right to actually do something about radicalizing all these other people that feel kind of disenfranchised by the United States government.
It's interesting that they dropped that. Like, he has these like alt-right connections, and I think they said the same thing about Patrick Lloyd in this episode. I think that's definitely drawing a parallel to like present day with, just alt-right people trying to infiltrate politics a little bit and make a name for themselves.
That's right. I kept on calling this guy Paul Lloyd for a while. So thank you, Christine.
Oh, Patrick, yeah.
Patrick, thank you.
He's like a boss, though. I mean, they were absolutely right, and he would be a hard guy to take down. They're saying he's got connections, and the way he stood up to them is like, I know it. You know I'm guilty. I know I'm guilty, but good luck proving it.
No, it's true. Because, I mean, even Hannah says, like, everybody that we saw back there where we were going to that town, they've all just disappeared. So there's no way for us to even try to find some kind of, like, starting point to start breaking people down to get to them as well. So how do you find these people after they've already kind of gone underground again?
They've always been off the grid. I think that was their biggest strength.
Let's go off the grid, you guys, this summer. You want to do it?
Yeah,
Once the show
let's
goes into,
go.
on
Let's
hiatus.
do it.
Sometimes
just
going off the grid is nice, man. You go camping out in no cell phone service. Oh,
You walk around, the cliffside with your shirt off,
Fantastic.
take some pictures.
For you,
shots
is that
on
what
on
is that what you're
Instagram.
about, Frank?
That's what you're about.
The only MC. Check it out.
Oh,
Plug,
my
plug.
goodness.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that six-pack hanging out up there. On that cliffside.
Oh,
There
man.
you go.
But he didn't have cell service, okay?
Did not have
That's what
cell
he
service.
Didn't need.
He took the picture and waited till later. Like,
I don't know what
disconnecting
you guys are
from
talking
life.
about.
That's. He had to just wait until until the LTE came back in. All right, I'm good to go. Host.
Wow.
Trust me, it's all envy from this
Wow.
side. It's just
is all
envy.
love.
Yeah.
So do you
love.
think, someone brought this up in the live chat, do you think that this guy wrote Pax Americana, or is he just quoting it? Because he quotes it.
Yeah.
Did he write it? Is he like literally the guy, do we think?
I think so. It feels like, if you're gonna kind of like sort of like an L. Ron Hubbard, you're gonna write your kind of
This is like manifesto.
yes.
Yeah, if he wrote it, I wouldn't be surprised because that was a direct quote. However, we don't know. Maybe all of those people quote directly from it. We don't really know the people. We've barely spoken to them. We've seen them, and they're like, you're going the wrong way, and then they like sent them back. Like that's all we've seen of the people. We don't know if they actually quote it like he did.
The nice thing, though, is at least seeing the trailers from next week's episode is we finally get to see him doing stuff. So it's going to be nice to see people from that Pax Americana so we can kind of maybe learn about their point of view and why they're doing and what they're trying to accomplish.
It was interesting in that tease, they show him at a rally where I don't think that was a rally for Pax Americana, because I think those people look too professional. It more looked like a public speech.
Yeah.
I mean, am I right when you look at the comparison of who we've already seen that's a Pax Americana follower, whether it's in the town or at the bonfire where the helicopter lands, versus who we saw in that tease? It was like rednecks and professionals.
Well, that's very presumptuous.
But is it like they're everywhere though? Are they all over the place? Is it just there? Like that maybe like one kind of or one type of people we've seen, but maybe it's a lot of different kind of people supporting this. Because kind of what we saw where they're like they're hiding in plain sight. They're everywhere. This could be anyone. I don't think it would just be the people that we saw.
The people in the live chat are very kind of split between whether he's the main guy or not. Ivan says that I think Lloyd is the leader of the True Believers. Other people saying group effort. Micah Martinez, I feel like Lloyd is working with another mole in the White House. I'm assuming that means he's going to be a kind of a co-leader. And then Omega the Red, if not the main guy, he's a top guy. And Super Mario Nintendo, Lloyd is not the guy.
I could see it being two people.
I was thinking the same thing, like co-leadership.
That
going
way
on.
that way they can have like a
brains
second
and
reveal.
brawn.
Yeah, totally.
One thing is we're talking about our mole in the White House. So it's our Homeland Security guy. They gives Hannah all this footage of what happened at the building right after moments after the assassination attempt happened, because they're trying to track Lozano's movements after the assassination attempt. But why give her the flash drive that also has a footage about 21 hours later that the real Lozano ends up leaving the building? If you're trying to kind of throw her off the track, why would you give her any footage that might possibly reveal what he really did?
Yeah, it's not something that would, I guess, tip the hand to be like, wow, he didn't provide me with this, though. Because she didn't ask for it, I don't think. So, yeah, that's a good question of if he's trying to prove his innocence, but I don't know where that would go to prove his innocence. Unless she asks for something that, we don't know, that she just wanted all the footage.
Yeah, I guess so. But I also feel like that if you knew what he did and you also know you have footage of it, why would you give that to her? I would want to. She's like, I'd come up with at least some excuse or some reason why you didn't have to have that footage. Because why even let her see that the real Lozano's alive?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That is interesting.
That's a good point.
But we do find out at the end of the episode that Hannah does get drugged. And I really like just a nice, long, slow sequence of the syringe going in the neck and the people coming out of the van and running all in kind of blurry slow motion
white
towards
van.
her. Yes.
The bald guy. We saw a bald guy.
I saw a bald guy. Yes.
That's who you were thinking of, that bald guy.
I thought in that sequence that we were gonna see someone else, like the way they were like running and slow and kind of blurring it out. I'm like, are we gonna see
Mike.
You wanted it to be Mike. You were 150% in on Mike. Nope. Mike's a good guy. Just like Aaron's a good guy.
You're so
Who
proud of
else
that.
have you already judged in this show that is also good?
Everyone.
But I think that I love the fact that
He also thought Steve was alive.
don't you say his name.
so serious.
What if he is actually the real head of
I
Pax
would-
Americana?
They've faked one body. They can fake others.
Let it go.
Gotcha.
No, I will not.
But I feel like that's the thing that the show could pull off. They could bring back, I think his name was Scott? Not Steve.
Oh,
Scott.
Scott.
I was like,
You
ah.
didn't even correct me.
I was trying to skip over
True
it and not
bad.
embarrass you, but
But they could definitely bring it up at the end. And I feel like the person would be most excited. Michael Clouse would jump out of his clothes right there and run around like.
I'd retire from this show. You know what?
You'd
It doesn't get any better than my man Scott coming back.
Like, forget season 2. You're done.
That is it. And the other struggle we had this episode too is that we figured out for Hook Stratton to try to kind of rally support around her is that the idea was it's interesting that the White House would write like an op-ed piece and then they try to get somebody to kind of sign off on it and so they could get it published in a bigger newspaper.
Do you think this is a reflection on his presidency or simply sticking again with Hook Stratton? Do you see this biting him? Because they started the episode where he's on a big high. Middle of the episode, it's like you can't even get someone to take an op-ed. Do you think that is a reflection on him or still just on Hook Stratton?
I feel like it's been set up to be Hook Stratton because the way everybody said nobody wants to support a dead duck.
Yeah, I
feel
think so too.
Yeah, so I don't think it's a reflection on him.
Yeah, I think it's a reflection on her, and it's putting him in a position now to either be that typical DC politician and like cut and loose while she's could bring him down, or stick by her and be the good Kirkman that we know him to be.
I mean, if it was the other way around, she wouldn't stick by him. We know that.
Maybe now
She said that. Well, maybe now, but she said she wouldn't be.
Before,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, she has a lot more to gain by sticking by him.
Now.
Yeah, but they had a nice little talk there at the beginning of the episode about how they didn't really trust each other at the beginning, but now they seem to really be able to work together very well.
But at the
Something
same
special happened.
time, I still think she'll look out for herself first. Like, I mean,
Well,
now-
she's in politics, so
Yeah.
she knows, I guess, more than him of, listen, this is the political thing to do.
She knows how to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did like that scene of her telling Tom, like, certainly the Senate is people like after the Capitol bombing, these are people that are just kind of, they took these people's places. They're kind of the backups. But the House was all elected, and it's all young people kind of new to the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they really want to challenge Hook Stratton and maybe kind of usher her out. So they see any blood in the water is going to be their opportunity to try to pounce on her.
I don't think they'll make it.
You don't think so?
No.
You think Bowman?
She's a bulldog.
You don't think that Montana Bowman's going to be able to?
I can't with it. I really can't
He's
with
so
him.
annoying. I can't.
Do you think he's part of the conspiracy? I don't think so.
No, I think he's just a dick.
That's how I was going to say the same thing. I just think he's a dick.
Like, but he's talking to Aaron, and he says, "You shut your mouth." I'm like, what?
Whoa, speaking of impressions tonight, look at that one.
Guys, it was like Bowman was in the room, huh? Look at
Yeah,
that.
he like barely opened his mouth when he says like you shut your mouth. Like it was like
Yeah. You know,
enunciate.
Ooh, Steven says, I have a new theory. What if Scott is alive and undercover or maybe even part of the conspiracy and he saves Hannah?
Look how excited he
I'm
just
not
got.
saying that I want that to happen, but if it did happen, would I be disappointed?
what if he's the bald guy and he rips off his mask and that's it?
Oh my god.
Yeah, he lost all his hair in the bombing.
That's
Oh my god.
That's why he's bald. It's
you
all
go.
making sense.
that's true. That would be a reveal that I know like all of us would be like, who?
That's how I felt about this episode.
That's right.
Right?
We
Who's
are.
that
Excuse me,
guy?
what?
Do we
Like-
know him?
He wouldn't be the most unknown
Doesn't
character.
even go here.
I didn't even go.
Mean Girls, got it.
Yes. No.
So, does the reveal of the mole and the fact that we're kind of feeling it for the most part, most of us, Michael Clouse is a big thumbs up on this reveal of this of our Homeland Security guy as the Deep Throat. But I feel like the rest of us are kind of lackluster about it. Does it kind of temper your expectations about where the season finale is going to lead? If this is their kind of, they've teased this so much and the reveal was just kind of,
I'll add to that, and because obviously you know my opinion, but I'll add to that and say, in addition to what your thoughts will be on the season finale, are you excited for next season and maybe future seasons with how they play this up? And I want to hear from everyone in the live chat as well. Thoughts?
That's a good question to pose. I mean, I've been saying this for a couple episodes now that I've been waiting for something from the conspirators' point of view to really give us a lot more information that we need instead of finding out about it by breadcrumbs from every episode if Hannah finds something or not. I mean, I can see why they introduced these characters, like you said, to set it up for season 2, but I really just need to see more from their perspective for me to care enough going into next season, because this reveal did nothing for me. So I don't know how from here I'm going to stay interested to find out more and like what their next plan is. I mean, the only thing I see happening is like I guess they teased it a little bit in the next week, them trying to take over the presidency and, infiltrate the government on all levels, probably starting with Hook Stratton and then going up to Kirkman and kind of dismantling what they've built. So that's what I see happening next.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, yes, this reveal was underwhelming for me, but at the same time, the more we learn about these people, the more interested I am. Like, I am interested to learn more about this conspiracy. I'm just disappointed that they made such a big deal of this being a traitor. Oh my God, someone we know. And then it's like some guy we maybe saw in 2 episodes.
Maybe I've just had more realistic expectations knowing how let down I was like the first half of the show where
Right.
I'm like, I don't really know what to expect anymore and I'm not setting my standards high.
But they are finally, I stick to my word, they're in they have a flow. I'm all about the flow now. And I think that they're going to really surprise us in the season finale. I honestly think that because it's only, 2 episodes left?
4.
So,
3.
3?
Yeah.
What?
It was 21 episodes a season. This was number 18.
okay, so 3
So we have
episodes.
2, and even the series like 2
Are you
more
sure? I think
episodes
it's 20.
before
I
the
think it's
season
22
finale.
episodes.
21.
They said 2 episodes left till the season finale.
So that's 3
So,
episodes.
yeah.
So maybe the last one's like a double episode? I don't know.
Could be,
That could be the case.
Anyways, so the 3 episodes left, they're not going to have some huge reveal that's going to really shake us. I think they're going to save that for the season finale. Though I wish they didn't hype it up as much as they did, because who on earth is this guy? And
I guess
why do we care?
Yeah, I guess you have to divorce the promo department from the production of the show. So I mean, the promo department's going to do whatever they can to get viewers to come watch this episode. So
Yeah.
The traitor.
yeah, I'm sure producers are like, geez guys, the reveal's not that huge. Don't really.
It's all about the traitor.
Because even looking at Twitter, just like reactions are like, huh? What? Who? This guy?
Seriously.
It
All
does say-
reactions.
It does say that there's 22 episodes, but yeah, the last episode is episode 21 on May 17th. So I'm thinking that it might be 2, because it was a 22 episode order. So maybe they are doing something with
2-hour
the
episode?
Yeah, they might do. They'll
Yeah.
probably do. It would make sense.
What else comes on before this?
I
None
don't
of
know.
us know.
What comes out? Isn't the Goldbergs?
The Goldbergs is an ABC show, I believe.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, learn something new.
So getting back to the live chat, because I asked the question, Steven says that he does not have high hopes for 2 seasons. He says that they are going to get 2 seasons, at most 3 if they're lucky. Someone else said that they hoped it goes, I think, to the way of West Wing. It was interesting that we kind of had a little bit of scandal tonight. Obviously, with everything that's going on with Hook Stratton, kind of drawing that in as far as ties to other political shows. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, given this, I can't imagine, and we've talked about this before, but I can't imagine this particular conspiracy giving us a long run like Scandal has. You got to really kind of change it up and do something different if you want to go 7, 8 seasons.
Or just never end like Grey's Anatomy.
Oof.
You love that show.
I actually do, but they're still going.
They're pushing it.
But really though,
McDreamy's coming back.
don't lie to everyone.
No, I don't think that'll
He's
happen.
coming back. He is still alive. He was caught. He was put in suspended animation. He's fine. He's gonna be coming back, you guys. Get ready. It's gonna be exciting. All right, so why don't we do a couple predictions as we're getting ready? We're talking about the future. Let's see what the future holds for some of our thoughts about some episodes.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Not it.
Not it.
I think that
Good for you.
Okay, so obviously they're not killing Hannah, which I really don't get, because why keep her? I mean, maybe they'll use her as leverage, but I think Hannah, we're going to see her captive for a while, but then she's going to escape somehow. But then no one's going to know where she is because she escaped, but the government won't know where she is, the conspiracy won't know where she is, and we'll be like, oh my God, where's Hannah? And I also think that Scott is dead. What do you think, Michael?
I don't even want to discuss that last thing that you talked about. Hurts too much. No, I something that we haven't talked about with Hannah being taken is the phone call that she had right before with Jason. Mm-hmm. She says, I need you to do this. And I think that will definitely come into play next episode. And I do not see that she is going to die. And I see that she's going to get found or somehow be able to escape. I do not see her in captivity for more than 1, maybe 2 episodes. Definitely by the season finale, she is going to be back out. And I hope that Hook Stratton gets the VP spot, that they stick it out with her. and I think they are going to. I think she's going to come up with the evidence and be like, listen, boom.
Like have a boss moment. Just
Have another boss moment, which, again, I loved this episode, so I'm hoping I see another one. Good for her.
yeah. I agree. I definitely want to see more of Hook Stratton. I do think, though, that Hannah's going to be used as leverage to get something from Kirkman, because you see in the promo that he finds out later that she's missing, and he seems so frazzled by it. So I think she'll just be used to get something out of him, and they'll probably leverage some sort of story or something to make them give her get what they want to get her back.
Who do you think gets on the phone with Hannah's captors and pulls a Liam Neeson from Taken? Will it be Mike? Will it be Jason? I have a certain set of skills.
It'll be Kirkman. It'll be the Bauer coming out. Just like, don't make me switch roles, okay?
I will find you and I will kill you.
What do you think?
My confidence is shaky right now about this season, given this lackluster reveal. So I don't have very high hopes at this moment. I'm ready, willing, and open to being convinced and turned around. But right now, I feel like it's on a downward slide. We're just gonna have a very Leo-heavy episode next week.
Oh no!
Don't say things like that.
Leo's focusing on his homework right now.
That's
he doesn't
right.
need to be
Look at that.
involved in anything at all.
But we did go full circle and get to have Tom actually talking to his daughter about the first girl,
Phoebe.
first girl Phoebe, and a little sweet moment.
Cute.
Did you enjoy that? At least that little bookended.
I'm glad they didn't show Leo.
Wow.
Wow.
Gets no love.
Okay.
They were like, oh, Leo's upstairs. Do you want to come see him?
No.
No.
Kirkman was like, no, that's okay.
Thank goodness.
Good.
Can only imagine the hate people be giving on this episode if we saw Leo at the end.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode of the Designated Survivor After Show.
Go
Thanks.
get your spring Oreos. Double stuffed, regular, fantastic.
There you go. Anybody want one for the road? Michael Clouse does.
Going to Hawaii in a month. Can't do that to myself. They look good. They look delicious. I'm resisting the temptation.
They're actually very broken and weird looking.
They are.
Yeah.
What's going
Is there working on
on?
some
This
issues?
was not a pretty package.
It's a bad spring.
Nah, I'm alright.
Sure. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, you can like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and thanks everybody for hopping in the chat. But the conversation doesn't stop here. If you want to continue to talk with us even after the show's over, Renee, where can they find you?
Hey guys, you can follow me at Renee Ariel on Instagram and on Twitter, and read my new blog post, 15 Reasons It's Great to Be Single, on sextinginthecity.com.
Great name, by the way. You can follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, at TheOnlyMC. I as well came out with a show this week. I have a show called Bios. It's a motivational interview series. If you want some daily motivation or inspiration, check it out. It's on my Facebook, but you can also find all that information on my Twitter and Instagram.
Dope. I don't have anything to shamelessly plug, but I'm Christine Alexis, and you can find me all over social media at Christine Bean.
I ate a pretzel today. Hey, everybody, I'm Frank
That
Moran.
trumps it all.
There you go. It was a free pretzel from What's
Breaking
Pretzels. There
news.
you go.
Free?
Hot, free.
Did
National
it
Pretzel Day.
Did it come with cheese?
Well, I guess you could have bought the cheese if you wanted to.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, National Pretzel Day. Got a delicious Wetzel pretzel. Plain or salted, whichever your choice was.
Didn't get plain, did you?
Oh, go ahead. No, I'm not a jerk. Forget it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us for this episode of the Designated Survivor After Show. We'll see you back here next Wednesday night for hopefully a much more entertaining show, Designated Survivor, right here on AfterBuzz TV.
Adios.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.